Our coach, talk about your off-season a little bit and the season as you kind of see it, and then tell us who you brought player-wise.
Our off-season I thought went pretty well. We started in March after the basketball season. We meet with these guys only 2.5 hours, right, a week. And then we kind of get things going after the track season. We checked out gear in late May, and we got about 9 practices in, I want to say, prior to Cat Camp, Grizzly Camp, the Skelly in Missoula. I thought I was unable to go because of the Shrine game. Report from the guys and the coaches that we had a pretty solid camp. We have been banged up at the quarterback position, so Linder and Berg and some other guys were getting reps there during the summertime. As of maybe a week or two ago, we're healthy, we think. So we've gone from 0 quarterbacks to 2. Fothrop had a concussion issue skiing in the wintertime, and then we had Toivonen at the Skelly competition in Missoula, kind of, I don't know if you want to call it a break. Kind of broke his middle finger there, or his pointer finger on his throwing arm or throwing hand. So it's forced us to become somewhat creative and develop a plan. So if we're 0 for 2 on quarterbacks, who are our other quarterbacks? That may be a situation where Linder's involved and maybe Drew Olmquist and some other guys, but it's forced us to be creative this summer, and that's a positive. I mean, you can look at it and go, we don't have any quarterbacks, and then we got to find a couple more. I thought we had a good camp. Coach Murray back there does a great job hosting the Jamboree. We had 8 teams there out in East Helena. We got very productive. We got some things on film. So I thought our summer was good. And your second question, I didn't hear it.
Who you brought player-wise?
Okay, player-wise, we have Max Christensen here, defensive back, senior. Britt Linder, Mike linebacker, running back, senior. And we have Derek Opitz, offensive and defensive line. Britt's a Cat commit, and Opitz is a Grizzly commit.
You talk about being creative at the quarterback position. How so far?
Well, one of the things we're able to do in the past few years is have a quarterback that's able to run. So again, incorporating some of those things back into the offense this summer with Britt and eventually Drew and some of the other guys. I mean, like we said, we got 2 healthy quarterbacks, but we're probably going to roll. We could roll with 4 or 5 quarterbacks depending on the situation and what we want to do. I mean, it's a power read stuff, but we're going to have to be creative.
You mentioned Drew Olmquist a couple of times. Last year had almost 900, almost 1,000 yards from scrimmage. So I just kind of wanted to gauge you, what's the plan for him this year? Last year he was, receiver, running back, maybe, this year maybe quarterback. Is that kind of the idea, jack of all trades?
Yeah, he's going to be all over the place. He'll be at the X, he'll be at the Z, he'll be our fly motion guy. He'll be a quarterback, he'll be a running back. There'll be some things. He's going to play defense. So when you got him, you got to ride him. I mean, that's one thing I was always taught growing up as a young coach. You got to feed your guys. When you have them, you got to feed them. So Britt's going to get the ball on Drew and those guys, and we're going to roll.
To follow up with that, with Britt a little bit too. I mean, with that running game, obviously that's been kind of a staple of Capital football. Do you see that being the same this year? Your identity on offense?
A little concerned going into the fall, or maybe into the spring, summer with our offensive line, defensive line. Who's going to show up? We did lose some guys. But again, we get Opitz back, we get Noah Blom back. We got a good stable of 6 to 7, 8 guys that have really stepped up, did a great job. After Christmas during basketball and track season, being downstairs at 6 a.m., kind of developed themselves. I mean, guys like Davin Lith and Soper, you can go on and on. And Dan, who am I missing? Gibson is going to be a sophomore. On Webster. It's been, Coach Hogan does such a good job with those guys. I think going into our season, I can honestly say I think our strong suit's going to be our guys up front.
I wanted to ask Britt, we talked before, you've kind of, expressed more excitement about running the ball. So I wanted you to speak to that more. How excited are you to have more chances to run the football this year, not focus as much, on linebacker, but I know you'd be focused there on defense, but more of a role offensively.
I'm just excited. It's going to be fun. Like Coach was saying, our O-line guys did a really good job developing this off-season. I was kind of thinking that there's going to be a lot of question marks up there even going into week 1, but I would totally agree with him. That's definitely one of our strong suits. It makes just my job a whole lot easier. And you know, once you get kind of past the first and second level of defenders, that's when running the ball gets really fun. So I just think it's going to be a lot of fun this year.
Derek, talked about Coach Hoagie already. What makes him such a good O-line coach in your opinion?
He keeps it really basic and fundamental, so playing the game with him is really easy.
Sure.
And he keeps us all engaged in the game, and he's just a really good coach.
Also, how does he keep you engaged?
He holds us accountable for stuff we're doing wrong, yelling at us, even if it's pretty loud.
Question for both of you, since you've already committed. I mean, why do it before your senior year? Derek can go first if you want.
Less pressure going into the season.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd say less pressure, and then it's just kind of out of the way now. All we have to focus on is winning the state championship our senior year.
I guess that is a question I wanted to ask all of you guys. I'll start with Max, since you haven't had a chance to talk yet. But how do you guys kind of, think about that championship last season, in terms of, this year? Like, defending it? Are you, trying to chase a new championship? Like, how do you kind of use that to motivate you, I guess, for this season?
Well, we lost a lot of guys, so, I mean, it's last year's championship. It's a new year, so just got to focus on this year and not really worry about what happened last year, and more worry about this year's championship and kind of forget about last year.
Britt?
Yeah, I'd say that we have one expectation every year at the start of the season, that's to win the championship. We did have 29 seniors last year, but we've been working really hard all off-season to try to find guys that are going to fit into roles that can help us get back to getting another ring.
Yeah, the expectation at Capital is to win, so we're going to do everything we can to do that.
And our coaches are going to help us most they can.
Max, I'll start with you. I've got questions for each of the players. Part of the secondary, you lost a lot. Of course, Martini, Campbell, Jackson McMillan, Dylan Onquist. You and Drew are back there. Talk about Coach Mihelish and what you guys are doing in that defensive backfield room and how you're coming together with so many new pieces.
Well, Coach Mihelish is really smart with what he does, and he'll come up with the best game plan that he can, and he's a big help. He's part of the reason why the secondary is usually pretty good at Capital, and so he'll put guys in positions where everyone will be successful, and yeah, he's a big part of that.
Derek, back to you. I remember when I called you Hayden when you were an 8th grader at Gallatin High. I don't know if you remember that, and you're like, I'm his little brother. Well, you're not his little brother, you're his younger brother, but you've always been a quiet guy. You've gone about your business, you lead by example, but now as a senior, I'm assuming they haven't voted on it, maybe a captain as well. Probably more of a vocal leadership. How are you approaching this senior season coming in? Obviously to play on the field, but off the field in practice, that type of thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being a big leader for these guys. I've been waiting for it for a while now, ever since my sophomore year. So now to be in this position is really special, and I'm excited.
Britt, same thing. I mean, now it's a leadership role. It's not only what you do, it's how you kind of guide the other guys that are coming along. You are the upperclassmen, so talk about that role with the team this year.
I'm really excited for it. I think that being a leader is, I'm just blessed to have this role. And then our coaches make it really easy on us to know what the expectations are, and that just makes the seniors and the leaders' job all that much easier. I'm just really excited.
And Coach, obviously 29 seniors last year, that's a huge class. That's a lot of experience, a lot of leadership. How is this second group, or this new senior group coming in and kind of making the program they're on this year?
No, that's the thing in high school football. Every year's a new year. I'm anxious to see in the next 2 weeks who we become. What's our identity? How do we make an imprint in the history of Bruin lore, right? Bruin history. So I think these guys are certainly capable of it. I think we got strong leadership. We'll see who these guys elect as captains here in about a week and a half, and I'm excited for these guys. Every group is different, and I'm excited to see what these guys can do August 29th at CMR.
Britt, this may be a dumb question, but do you anticipate playing both ways this year?
Yes.
How do you?
Yes, he will be. Yeah.
That's why I said it was a dumb question. How do you keep your motor going to play both ways like that?
Oh man, you have to condition well, and then you also have to prepare well. Football is a lot more of a mental game than a lot of people understand. You have to be knowing a lot of you just have to know what's happening everywhere, especially on defense as a, the signal caller, and then on offense you got to know, all the gap schemes, zone schemes, where am I blocking on the pass plays. It really comes down to the mental aspect and can I figure out what my job is and execute it.
One thing, and this is for Kyle, you guys have obviously had a lot of consistency over the past, few years, winning, long term. But how much do you think, some of your coordinators, especially in Coach Hogan, but having a coordinator like Coach Mihelish, who, has been a head coach in wrestling and has been there for a long time. I'm blanking on your offensive coach. Yeah, right. I don't blink, but obviously he's the girls basketball coach. So you've got, coaches who are assistants but have been head coaches, have been in those positions long term. So how big of an advantage is that for you guys?
Well, I think having those two guys is, obviously beneficial to us. It's, I coached both of those guys, Matt and Jeff, long ago. That dates me. Mahane and Matt are getting old now, right? That just means I'm getting older. But no, Matt's a very smart young man. He does a great job. He turns over every stone. He looks wherever he can. He creates a great game plan. He tries to put defenses in a bind, in a bad position. We try and find mismatches. Different ways to run our pin and pull schemes versus a 30 or a 50 or a 40 front. They do a good job with all of that. He and Hoagie and the rest of the guys, Coach Christensen, and then we got a young coach, Matt McGinley, coming up, and obviously Coach Hunt there on the offensive side. They do a great job. But Coach Mihelish does a great job again. We've been talking the same language probably for 20, 25 years. That's going back to when he played. And then, we even, I think maybe Britt talked about expectation. Those guys understand the expectation. They're a part of it. They're part of the culture. And they take pride in it. They work hard. They watch a tremendous amount of film. We scheme. We do a lot of different things. And we're all pretty open with one another. So it isn't like, this is my offense, this is my defense. It's a collaborative effort, and I think they do a very good job of being leaders on both sides of the ball.
Coach, what makes Drew Lundquist so special in your opinion?
He's very talkative. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't say much. He says more than Opitz, don't you think? No, Drew's a special talent. We're blessed and lucky to develop kids, and we've had obviously a tremendous amount of talent at Capital High School, but I think the culture breeds a lot of that as well. But to have a guy like Drew, same thing. He's a special kid. He's quick, he's fast, he's smart, intelligent. We're going to get a lot of mileage out of him on both sides of the ball. Like I said, we'll move Brett around on defense and offense, and the same with Drew. You're going to have to prepare for him as an X and a Z and a fly guy and a running back and maybe quarterback, and got to move him around.
Coach, you talk about culture. How tough is it in today's age to develop some culture within the group?
Well, you do. You always hear about people talking about culture and their culture and developing culture. I think we're lucky to have a culture, and it's been around this is Team 53. It's been around for a lot of years, and it goes back to Coach Dennison and Coach Tuss and Coach Chauncey, and preaching the same things and the traditions that we hold on to that are ours and they're nobody else's. That's very unique, and I think these young men, as they progress through Capital football, whether that be in the first grade with flag or their senior year coming up here, that they understand the culture and the expectation, what it is, and they're the ones that feed the culture. They're the ones that do it. It's just something that's there, and the expectation is that we're growing football.
You guys got anything else? Maybe, go ahead, John.
I got kind of a fun one for anyone who wants to take a stab at it. Obviously 5 teams here, that means 5 mascots. You've got the Bruin Bear, the Bengal Tiger, the Jefferson Panther, Broadwater Bulldog, and the East Helena Vigilante. We locked all 5 of those mascots in a cage, and only one could come out. Who's it going to be and why?
Does the Vigilante have a gun?
And what caliber?
I think the Bruin Bear's coming out. Big old bear, right? Whether they have a gun or not. We're gonna get after it.
Coach, maybe one last one. I'll end up asking this of every team, but just this media day thing. What do you think about it as a coach?
I think it's a great idea. Get everything here. Good start to the week. Daniel, good job for doing this. Thank you.